Hopefully my mic is on now. What's going on, Eden? We want to say shout out to Eden for getting better. Eden was held down for a little while, but he's back on the mend. Hey, yes. Okay, so you bought a home here, but you still live in. Who's doing the daggone thing, Sheltree? Who is doing the daggone thing? Congratulations. One of the first times that I knew that you were real is I had offered, I said, if anybody gets a little too drunk, I just didn't want to see anybody hurt, call me and I could be a designated driver if I'm not out in these streets. Hey, Steph. Well, Shelter didn't call me for a ride, but he called me one night just to tell me he just poured his heart out. And it was just his appreciation for me. And I never, you see, I still remember Sheltree. I will never, ever forget that. And it was late night. Okay, Sheltree might have been on that sauce, but I don't even care because what you said came from the heart. And I probably started crying that night or teared up or whatever, but it was the best thing ever. Still remember Sheltree. um, but hey, everyone. So let's start with first thing that came on my brain was, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Oh, Sheltree. Because Sheltree, you one of the most intelligent people that I know in so many ways. You know, people have intelligence, but they don't understand, say, this part of the game or this part of business, right? When you have someone that is intelligent, book smart, street smart, and charismatic with emotional intelligence, not saying that we don't do dumb stuff, but when you have that mixed together, you can get so far. And I saw that, I y'all know I see things. So I saw that. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. um, Dag, Sheltree, it's been about 10 years, right? It's been too long. We have to come to Nashville, though, straight up. I'm ready. Straight up. Anyways, everyone, please wish AG a fabulous day tomorrow. She has a really big day, a big deal coming up, and we will discuss more about it next week when all is done. But she has a great adventure ahead of her tomorrow, and we're so excited. Can't wait. Um, I'm gonna get a little vulnerable right now, and I, well, the other day we were looking up. Well, we were researching, Julia and I, because we just asked crazy questions about safe places, and there is this scale from 1 to 5 on how safe a country is. And the countries that we were pulling up were like 1.6, like point 0.5, which is super safe, right? And then you get to 5, and that's super dangerous. Well, Canada was in like that 1.6 area. We pulled up multiple countries on the continent of Africa, and they were in the 1.6, 1.7 area. Some European countries like Iceland, I think, was like 0.1 or 0.00001. super safe. Well, the United States was like a 3. Okay. And it's so funny because it is like they push it out that we are in the safest place. And I think it's hilarious because the United States ranked pretty high. So I'm torn right now. I'm torn. I'm not torn. I think I've made up my mind. Being in this place of like where I grew up was super safe. I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut. And at that time it was safe. But I want to say maybe everywhere was a little bit safer than it is now. But I think maybe being in the 80s, 70s, growing up in the 90s, 80s, 70s. I wasn't in the 70s. I was conceived in the 70s. However, in 79, popped out in 1980. But I think for a lot of us who are of a certain age, we experienced being able to stay out all night and really not having to worry about anything. I mean, the most was some fighting with fists, maybe a little blade. But for the most part, you were going to walk away with your life, right? For the most part. Sometimes we already know there were incidents, absolutely. And now, okay, so let's go back to the 80s. I knew that if I was going to go to the grocery store, I was going to buy my groceries, my eggs, flour. What else did we buy? Cube steak back then, hot dogs, and walk out. No question. The most somebody was going to do was try to steal something or rob, right? And not really at gunpoint. And if they had a little gun, it was a little fake gun, or put their finger in there and their clothes, stick them up. This is a stick up, right? Nothing real. But it's like as time goes by, certain countries are still staying in that 1.6, 1.7, under 2 category for safety. But the good old US of A is just growing. What does that mean? What is that saying? Hey, April. What's that saying? And I believe the children are our future. Right? I hear myself downstairs. And my child now has no cares in the world. Okay, let me not say that. She cares about what her hair looks like, what she's wearing. What, like when I say no, that is her biggest care in the world. And I love that for her, that she is in this beautiful bubble of joy and happiness. She can get a little dark. And I'll just tell you, one of her nicknames is Sunday Adams instead of Wednesday. She I got her some amber scented body wash. It smells so good. Amber's my favorite scent, so I got her some. And she came down, running downstairs like, Amber. It was her connecting that amber is a few things. Amber is a scent, amber is a stone, amber is a name. Then she started Googling Amber's name. And what comes up? This original story of how the Amber Alert came into existence. And for those of you who are of a certain age, you know exactly how the Amber Alert came into existence, right? Little girl named Amber got stolen. And it was quick, 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 quick. And the parents thought, well, dag, if we would have had the license plate of the truck, we would have gotten her back. Okay. There are movies about this. Well, Sunday Adams watches these and will rewind when Amber is getting kidnapped, and she will just laugh and laugh and laugh. Oh my God. Sunday. She also watches Junie and Tony, where it's raining poop, and the poop is rainbow. Hey, Pia. Girl, you look good in that picture. I can't see too much, but I can see your son. I said, who did it? Go ahead, Pia. How you doing, beautiful? So her living in this bubble, which I want to go back into a bubble too. I don't want to know anything that's happening. I don't want to know reality anymore. I don't. I want to go in my delusional bubble where everything is just fine and perfect. And they're the berry girl, strawberry shortcake, and her friends, and they're playing and laughing. And what's that, Rainbow Bright? I think life just got too good, and we can go back, or I can't go back too far. But in the 70s, stuff was pretty righteous, right? And then in the 80s, well, I mean, there was always drugs, but like in the 80s, they really pushed it into the hoods. The discos were great, right? You didn't hear that many people crashing, drunk drivers crashing and stuff. No, they have big cars, right? There was love. Music was about love, and it was great. Even in the 90s, we would be in these streets hard. 2000 hard. But Lord, Lord, Lord. Anyways, so I would love to go back to my bubble. And I want her to remain in that bubble. Eventually, and this is, what happened with me, that bubble was infiltrated. I stepped out of the bubble and started realizing that there's some real crazy things. Like trolls. I just had a troll on YouTube. I deleted the comment. These trolls are out of, and listen, trolls get paid. And one day when I have the time, and I mean time like actual time, but the energy, the emotional and mental energy to go at these trolls, I absolutely will. And I'll get to them. And I did when I went on before. Um, and a bunch of trolls showed up, and they were really having conversations. So that's when I was like, okay, these aren't bots. These are real people who are being paid to troll. But they're also helping the algorithm. They're also helping views. So I don't know what the real point of trolls are. I guess to throw people off their game, or I don't know. I don't know what trolls are for, but they're here. Sometimes I'm okay with dealing with them. Sometimes I'm not. Like tonight, I'm not, because I'm not staying on that long, folks. As I said, we have a big adventure tomorrow. We have to be up at 4 a.m. So that means we have to go to bed early. But please, everyone, wish AJ a fabulous day tomorrow. And I can't wait to share everything when we're done and all is well. So excited for that. While though, I have everyone here. I did want to talk about my safety and how I feel. And where I live is beautiful. It's very, very safe. Very safe. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff going on. And it's funny. I don't even want to call it crime. I guess it's crime in my neighborhood. It's really not crime. Is hilarious. And people get caught. They're so dumb. Anyways, I'll tell you one time, I don't know, I think someone tried to steal a vehicle. Well, they went and drove in the parking lot where the pool house is. Yes, a pool house. And they went behind the pool house driving on the grass. Well, I live in a neighborhood where people have fences. So they can only get so far. And then the fence was there. Cops were like, freeze, we see you. Like, you can't go anywhere. Duh. Anyways, my neighborhood is great. I love it. It's very quiet. There's parties. It's just a really good, nice neighborhood where I can make my own stories up of every house that my neighbors, I make up stories about them. I have no clue who they are because I don't meet them. I know a little bit about them, but I feel like stepping out of this neighborhood sometimes, though, can get a little hairy. And my ask, my want, my desire, my need, my prayer is to feel safe, to feel as safe as AG does, to be able to physically live in a bubble where I do have the Berry girls as friends and we get along and we chat and we talk and I laugh and I laugh, don't get me wrong. The issue is every time I turn on some device, the first things that come up, or just hearing certain things, or getting a letter at work that certain things are changing and certain things are being removed, and certain people can't get jobs in certain places or can't move up. Maybe because their gender and other things. And it my heart is heavy because of that. I was having a conversation though with my wise mother, and she was bringing up something that Paul Anka was saying. If you don't know who Paul Anka is, he is also the host of Bashar. He channels Bashar. And I say that host, he hosts Bashar in his body. And just basic bottom line, do whatever you got to do that makes you happy. Just go for it. Whatever brings you joy, go for it. And basically be unapologetic. And I'm going to add within means that it's a win-win for everyone. Because sometimes some people, certain things bring them joy, and it's not a win-win for everyone involved. So having that, and I agree 100%. And I've mainly lived my life that way. I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to make me happy. Oh, Daryl, what I say? Paul Anka? Is that the singer? What did Paul sing? Paul Anka. His name is Daryl Anka. Do not listen. Names I'm not good at all. What's Paul Anka sing? Paul Anka's the singer, right? What does Paul Anka sing? Let's look it up. I'm a mess. I know, but what is he saying? Put your head on my shoulder. Mm, Diana. Okay, Paul. I didn't mean Paul. I meant Daryl Anka. Daryl, who hosts Bashar. Um, so I kind of want to leave with that today, that do what brings you joy in the with the boundaries that it's a win-win for everyone. Unfortunately, I mean, we have so many names we can bring up in history, and the things that they were doing brought them joy, right? Um, let's look. I'm going to name some of them. Sam Little, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Dennis Rader, the BTK killer. What is it? What was that guy in the old school? Jack the Ripper, right? So John Wayne Gacy, Charlie Manson, right? The things that they've done, it brought them joy, but it wasn't a win-win for everyone. And they did exactly what brought them joy. So we don't want that type of joy, okay? We want win-win for everyone. And I would absolutely go with that too. And advise everyone to go with it too. Do what makes you happy, what gives you joy. And making sure it's a win-win. Some people find manipulation joyful, the fact that they can manipulate. Yeah. And then they get beat up. Anyways. So that's what it is. Tonight I will not be on LSA. I'm going to say it again. I have to be up at 4 in the morning. We have to be up, and we need to get showers in and prepareth, make sure everything is good, and then to bed, because it is such an exciting day tomorrow. And we can't wait. I have said also, on you excited, baby? September. She didn't hear me. September 28th. I will be hosting a live event. Possibly, I may post a little, like, go live here. I think that'll be great. And truthfully, we're going to do some healings. We are going to move. One of the things right now that's super important is stay updated, but don't give in. Don't give in. And I have been guilty of giving in a little bit. And I don't want to. I want to go back to my bubble. So that Sunday, which is 2 Sundays from now, will be a great, blessed healing event. And it's going to be fun, of course, because we always have to have fun. We can actually have fun in healing, right? Laughing is healing. If you laugh and you get healed, right? It could be extremely funny. It doesn't have to be necessarily in a dark closet crying our brains out, getting our stomach all and not that that may not happen. It may happen, but we're also going to have some fun. So can't wait for that. And I believe that's it. Like I said, I won't be going on if you hear screaming. So funny. And so I have been talking about possibly going on different nights for LSA. I stay on Thursday nights, every other Thursday night, because that's just what I've been doing since the inception. However, I can absolutely change my times um, to, for some variety and for my schedule too. Seems like a lot goes on Thursdays. I had two other meetings. I had a Toastmasters meeting that couldn't make. There was also a PTO meeting, couldn't make because this is my priority. So maybe we'll switch it up. Um, However, I love you all so much, and I thank you wholeheartedly. I know tonight was kind of like, meh. It's all right. I couldn't